All right, guys, if you're an aging athlete like myself, I'm about to turn 54 years old, maybe you're struggling with distance. It seems like the harder you swing, the shorter you hit it. You might want to pay attention to this video. It's going to make a world of difference. You need to learn to do two things. You got to learn how to drop the club, get it down, okay, rather than spinning your body. You've also got to learn how to release the golf club and use your wrist. Yes, you can use your wrist. You just have to use them the right way, and we're going to go there as well. All right, so this is going to be a really important video for those of you that are getting a little bit older. You feel like you're getting worse every year. You feel like you're hitting it shorter every year. I think it's going to help. Sit tight, hang in there. It's going to be a good one. All right, so the first thing we need to discuss is a couple of misconceptions out there. The idea that if all you do is turn your body, the club face is going to square up, and the arms have a very passive role in the golf swing. In fact, the wrist should have a passive role in the golf swing. I think that's incredibly misleading for most recreational golfers. You weekend warriors out there, you know who you are, and you're really struggling, and you get caught up in these videos that, you know, you see them working, these coaches with elite golfers who've got ample amounts of speed, whether in high school or college, maybe they're young pros or maybe they're tour players. You know, it's wonderful to look at these so-called models, right, as a way to swing a golf club, but how realistic is it at the end of the day? I mean, do you have the flexibility to get as open as Xander Schauffele as you strike the golf ball? Do you have the ability to make a turn like Victor Hovland? You know, these are sort of things that, you know, you're able to do, because if you can do that, I would say absolutely go for it. I mean, if it's something that works for you, go ahead and do it, all right? But for most of us, myself included, I feel like there's definitely an easier way. Now, I want to talk to you about the role of the arms in the golf swing. I don't think the arms do have a passive role. I think the role of the arms is to control the verticals in the golf swing. I think they should work up and down and then back up on the opposite side of the body. I think the body is responsible for the horizontal movement in the golf swing. If you marry your arm swing with your body turn, you're probably going to have a pretty good motion, okay? Most of you enter the horizontal stage of your golf swing way too early. You don't use your arms particularly well. You don't move the club quickly enough, in my opinion, down, okay, and as you transition, and you leave your arms at the start line. If you leave your arms at the start line, you're forced to release early, which is why so many of you 18 inches prior to impact, you've already formed a plane between your lead arm and the shaft. Essentially, you release early. And of course, in our minds, we think to ourselves, I'm releasing early, I must be using my arms too much, and I should be using my body even more. Well, how's that working for you? The more you use your body, the more you drive your body ahead of your arms, and the earlier you release. So it's like, how in the world am I supposed to have all this lag that I see with good players, and I'm supposed to have all this forward shaft lean at impact? If you want lag and forward shaft lean, the first thing you need to do is stop trying to get lag and forward shaft lean. How about that? Hopefully this is going to get your attention, because that's all everyone's talking about, right? Got to create lag. I've got to get the shaft leaning forward. And then, of course, maybe you're a golfer that's got a pretty neutral grip or a face that's a little more open, and you're just hitting it further and further right. And then you start shanking the golf ball. It's like, what in the world is going on? So what we've got to do is we've got to slow down the spin phase in the golf swing. We've got to get the club face oriented pretty well. That's going to be the second part of this video. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you release the golf club, how you get it squared up. But let's talk about the arms, because boy, oh boy, is that an important part of the swing. Using your arms, all right? I love using my arms in my golf swing. I feel like the faster I move my arms from the top of the backswing to this position here, the further I hit it, okay? Now, here's the thing. If I told you to move your arms faster, you're going to all have issues with what we call proprioception. That's your mind's ability to sense and feel what your body's doing without using your eyes. It's not using a video camera. It's not using a mirror. That is not the same. We can all do it well in front of a mirror, but what do you do once you hit golf balls or you go play when you're not looking at what you're doing? What you do is you lose complete feel for what the golf club is doing. Very few of you are feeling anything beyond the compound rubber that's underneath your hands, all right? You're not feeling the club head because you grip it too tight, got excessive tension in the joints of your wrists, elbows and shoulders, and you lack proprioception as it relates to the game of golf, all right? So what we've got to do is we've got to improve that by lightening that grip pressure, maybe about a 5 or a 6 out of 10. We don't need to get too loose, all right? We need grip integrity. We don't want to get loose, but maybe soften up the joints a little bit, stick a little oil in there, right? Try and make things a little bit more supple, and then you can start to feel with your eyes closed, not open, but you can start to get a feel for what the club head is doing. So rather than tying your arms to your body with a lot of tension and then just spinning your body back to the ball, throwing the kitchen sink at it, you can start to actuate your arms. You can start to move your arms separately from your body as you change direction. Start to de-elevate them. Can you see how my arms are dropping here? A little bit like an elevator in a building, right? That's what we want. From this angle here, you can see my lead arm is going to work from high across my chest. It starts to work down across my chest, all right? The more it moves down as I pivot, the more my arm moves forward. Yes, there's a relationship between the arms dropping and having forward shaft lean. Who would have thought, right? All of you guys struggling, trying to turn your bodies over here to get the arms moving forward. That is not what you want to do. What I love is to drop the trail foot back behind you, okay? You can use tees. I'm going to hit a couple off the ground here, but set yourself up at your target. You don't need to be super close with your shoulders. Just drop that trail foot behind you and flare the toe. I'm going to do it face on so you get a better look at this. So just drop your trail foot behind you, flare the toe, get it out. That's going to help you aging athletes get this trail hip more behind you. It's going to help you create some room to the side of you so you've got some space to get your arms working down. If you've got no pivot, no turn, you've got no choice but to come over the top. And then swing nice and easy, but maintain the structure of where your body is at the top. So I go to the top here, you can see my hands are kind of above my ankles. That's the goal. And when you start your downswing, rather than throwing your upper body at the ball, or for you better golfers, driving your pelvis towards the golf ball, see if you can maintain the structure in your body as your arms drop. So you can see here I'm remaining pitched forward. My trail hip is remaining behind me. My trail shoulder for a split second is remaining back as my arms work down. So now what I'm doing is I'm sort of reconnecting my arms to my body as I change direction. I do not see many golfers do that very, very well. I'd say that's one of the biggest problems with you weekend warriors and recreational golfers is this spinning motion, what I call pinning and spinning, where you leave the arms at the start line. So you can see here from face on, different look right there, isn't it? Can you see that? Now I've got my hands opposite my trail leg. My arms are moving faster. That's what's leaving the club head at the start line. The club head at the start line. We don't want to leave the arms at the start line. That's a big, big difference. And now all of a sudden, I've got myself in a position here where I can start to release the golf club a lot more freely. So let's go ahead and hit a couple. Right foot back drill. Absolutely love this one. Go to the top, allow the arms to drop, not using my eyes, guys, okay? I'm just feeling it here, all right? If you want to use your eyes a couple times, use your eyes, that's okay. But you got to sense and feel what your body's doing by not using your eyes. This is the trick, all right? So again, allow those arms to drop. Let's go ahead and hit one. We'll go to the top. And then rotate through. Very happy with that, okay? So I know when I'm hitting that golf ball, I'm slowing the spin phase. I'm not getting my body spinning back to the ball too early. I really feel like my upper body's facing the video camera as my arms drop. I feel, honestly, I feel like this. All right, now if you slow the video down, what you're going to see is the crazy part here is that the body catches up to the arms. So where I feel like my arms are dropping and my body's not turning, the truth is my body, as my arms drop, my body is turning. It actually catches up to the lowering of the arms. And that's what I need you to understand. Most of you, unfortunately, when you swing a golf club, you don't have your body catching up to your arms. What you have is your arms trying to catch up to your body. That is very, very much the opposite, isn't it? If I spin my body, now I've got to stall my body and my arms have to catch up to my body. So you've got a golf swing that's essentially more body early and then arms late. All right, and then you say to yourself, wow, I use my arms too much in my golf swing. I've got to use my body more. How's that working for you? What we really want here is the feeling, right, of using the arms earlier, keeping the body back, right? And don't spin back to the ball. Obviously, look at the relationship now between my arms and my body. I've got a lot of leverage here. Now we can go ahead and pivot the golf club as we swing through. So you've got to really kind of switch this sequence, right? Think more in terms of maintaining the structure in your body. Don't fire your trail hip, don't fire your shoulders, but for a split second, really keep everything behind you as your arms de-elevate. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. Maintaining the structure. All right, little baby draws, okay? Nice and clean. I'm not going down after it. I'm not trying to slam the club into the ground here, just swinging nice and clean through the golf ball. That is a fabulous drill. Now, I want you to understand something. Most golfers don't release the golf club correctly. When we talk about the release, it needs to match the grip. If you've got a very, very strong grip, and you have a significant amount of rotation, you're going to hook the golf ball. So if you've got a stronger grip and or a neutral grip, but you get the wrist flexed and the club face more closed, you're going to want to release your speed a little bit more into lead wrist extension with less rotation. You'll still have some rotation, but essentially I think a stronger grip is far better suited to a pull fade release pattern. That isn't most of you, all right? For most of us, hitting that high soft draw is going to be really something that would be fantastic, right? We're not really wanting to move the ball so much from left to right. So what we need to do is understand when to start to rotate the golf club. Now, here's the thing. The driver, it's a long golf club, 45, maybe 46 inches long. We're swinging this thing, hopefully, like I mentioned, above the trail ankle, right? Make sure you've got some depth at the top of your backswing. That's really, really important. But most of you, as I say, can't wait to get your body back to the golf ball, leaving everything behind. Back of your lead wrist is pointing to the sky. Club face is wide open. You deliver the club very, very poorly, and you wonder why impact doesn't look good. We don't need to work on impact. We need to understand that impact is a net result of the way the golf club's being delivered. So we can improve the delivery as we approach impact. Your impact position is going to be a lot better. So with the driver, with that golf club up over here, up above my right shoulder, hopefully above my ankles, as my arms de-elevate, look again at the structure of my body. I'm not changing that. But as my arms de-elevate, what I want you to do is I want you to start to add a little torque or twist to the golf club back here, a lot earlier than you're comfortable with. Imagine taking the trail hand here as my arms drop and starting to almost feel like it's facing the camera. All right, what that's doing is it's preparing the club face a lot earlier, so you're not forced to flail at it about 18 inches before impact. There's nothing worse than a wide open to closed release pattern. I've never subscribed to that. I never ever wanted any of that for my students. What we need to do is we need to get this golf club rotating sooner. All right, and as we approach impact here, this is my delivery position. My trail hand may feel a little bit more on top. My lead wrist is going to feel a little bit flatter, pointing more that way. All right, it's not pointing at the sky, which is what I see so much with this extension in the lead wrist. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can get this club dropping and get the club rotating a little bit earlier. Let's see what happens. Can't hit it better. Love that. So that works for me all day long. It's a high, little slingy draw. I've got a really good marriage there between my arms dropping and my body turning. Yes, of course, my body's turning through the golf ball. I'm not saying that we get here and we just throw the club at the ball and never use our body. The body has a very, very important role, okay? But we've got to make sure that the body, in my opinion, is responding to the swinging motion of the arms. That's the concept that's going to be very, very helpful for most of you that believe that the body moves the arms. The body doesn't move the arms. The body doesn't square the club face, okay? The wrists, forearms, okay? That's what squares the club face. And the arms move the arms, all right? It's the arms that move the arms. You don't stand here and just spin to get the club face back to the golf ball. So work on this, okay? If you think this could help, go ahead and share. I always get back to people if you have any comments. I love to hear from you. I honestly think this is going to make a world of difference, especially if you're a little older, maybe 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and you've really struggled. The idea of allowing the arms to drop, slowing the spin phase, and then of course, when do we rotate the golf club? Incredibly important. The driver, around chest high, we start to twist that golf club. The irons, probably just a little bit later, maybe around waist high. You got to prepare the club face as it's being delivered. You cannot try and do this at the ball. It's way too late. Get after it. We'll talk to you next time.